There are moments in television news that transcend the screen, moments where the anchor isn't just reading a teleprompter, but sharing a collective heartbreak with the nation. For viewers of ABC World News Tonight, that moment came this week, and it was a difficult watch for everyone involved. David Muir, the 52-year-old journalist, known for his calm demeanor and steady hand, had to halt the usual flow of the broadcast to deliver an update that left fans reeling. It wasn't political drama or economic statistics. It was a story of senseless loss, a story involving an innocent child, and a story that reminds us all just how fragile life can be. The segment focused on a deadly road rage shooting in Las Vegas, a terrifying incident that claimed the life of an 11-year-old boy who was simply on his way to school. As the details unfolded, social media lit up with viewers expressing their devastation, anger, and shock. It was a broadcast that hit home for parents, commuters, and anyone with a heart. Here is everything we know about the tragedy that paused the nation and why David Muir's coverage of it has resonated so deeply with his audience. A broadcast stopped in its tracks. When you tune into World News Tonight, you expect the headlines. You expect the weather. You don't necessarily expect to have your heart ripped out in the first block. But that is exactly what happened when David Muir shifted gears to address the deadly road rage shooting in Las Vegas. With a somber tone, Muir introduced the story, highlighting the absolute innocence of the victim. An 11-year-old son on his way to school was shot and killed while riding in the backseat of his stepfather's car. Muir told the audience, his voice carrying the gravity of the situation. It's the kind of introduction that makes you freeze. We've all been in traffic. We've all seen drivers get heated, but the idea that a merged dispute could end the life of a child in the backseat is a nightmare scenario that no one wants to imagine. Muir didn't just leave it at the headline. He prepared the audience for what they were about to see, handing the segment over to his colleague, Matt Gutman. Tonight, here is the video of the other driver, who authorities say pulled out the gun, Muir added, signaling a transition to footage that was raw, real, and incredibly difficult to watch. The footage that broke hearts. Matt Gutman took over the report, providing context to a video that can only be described as gut-wrenching. The footage, released by police in Las Vegas, came from body cameras worn by officers arriving at the scene. It didn't show the shooting itself, but rather the immediate chaotic aftermath, the moments when reality crashes down. Tonight, police in Las Vegas releasing body camera video showing the frantic and gut-wrenching moments after a child was killed in horrific road rage attack, Gutman reported. The video showed the boy's stepfather in a state of absolute agony. He was screaming, inconsolable, pleading with officers. It was the sound of a man watching his world collapse in real time. Viewers watched as the stepfather tried to gauge what had just occurred, his panic palpable through the screen. In stark contrast, the footage also showed the alleged shooter, 22-year-old Tyler Johns. Gutman noted that Johns appeared stunned as he was cuffed and placed in the back of a patrol car. The juxtaposition was jarring. On one side, a family destroyed. On the other, a young man seeming to just realize the magnitude of his actions. He was just trying to make it to school. The victim was identified as 11-year-old Brandon Dominguez Chavarria. To bring the reality of the loss home, a picture of little Brandon flashed on the screen. He wasn't just a statistic in a crime report. He was a child with a smile, a future, and a family who loved him. Matt Gutman shared that the family had released the photo on GoFundMe, a desperate attempt to navigate the financial burden of a tragedy they never saw coming. The boy mortally wounded in the back of the car, Gutman explained. Brandon was riding in the back seat last Friday when police say his stepfather had a heated exchange with Johns as they merged onto this Nevada freeway. It happened at approximately 7:30 a.m. on a Friday morning. It was rush hour. The police described the vehicles as jockeying for positions trying to pass each other on the congested freeway. It is a scenario that plays out on highways across America every single morning, but this time it ended in a courtroom. During the segment, footage from the courtroom showed Brandon's mother confronting the man accused of killing her son. Her words were simple, direct, and shattered the hearts of everyone watching. "He wanted to take somebody's life away," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "He took my son away. He was just trying to make it to school." The charges and the consequences. The legal aftermath of the shooting is swift, though it offers little comfort to a grieving family. Matt Gutman concluded his report back in the studio with David Muir, outlining the charges facing the suspect. And David, that suspect, Tyler Johns, faces the single broad charge of open murder, Gutman stated. For those unfamiliar with the legal terminology, open murder is a serious classification that includes first-degree murder and other included offenses. Additionally, Johns has been charged with discharging a firearm into an occupied vehicle. The Henderson Police Department confirmed that Johns was arrested and booked quickly after the incident. As of the broadcast, he is being held without bail. Gutman also addressed a question many viewers likely had: what about the stepfather? As for that anguished stepfather, it's unknown if he faces any charges at this point, Gutman noted. While the investigation is ongoing, the focus remains heavily on the escalation to gunfire. Viewers are fuming and heartbroken. When ABC World News Tonight shared a clip of the segment to their Instagram account, the reaction was instantaneous. The comment section became a digital wake, filled with condolences, shock, and seething anger at the senselessness of it all. David Muir's fanbase is known for being engaged and empathetic, and they didn't hold back. "On what? My heart? One user commented, capturing the visceral reaction many felt watching the stepfather's panic. "He's pleading for them to come to the car." Another user echoed the sentiments of Brandon's mother, pointing out the recklessness of the act regardless of intent. "I agree with the mother, he just wanted to unalive somebody point blank period," the viewer wrote. Him saying, "I didn't know there was a kid in the car. Whether or not there was a kid in the car, you shot into a known occupied vehicle. Reckless." This sentiment was a common thread. The idea that "I didn't know a child was there" is no defense when you fire a weapon into a car. Why are you shooting at someone because they pissed you off? Someone else fumed in the comments. If you didn't have a gun, this wouldn't have happened. That poor family just lost their precious child over your anger. A lesson in walking away. Beyond the anger, there was a profound sense of caution among the viewers. This tragedy served as a brutal reminder of why de-escalation is so vital in today's world. A third commenter pointed out, "This is heartbreaking. That's why, as hard as it may be, we need to learn to walk away and avoid confrontation. We just never know who's the next lunatic carrying a weapon." It's a chilling thought, but a necessary one. The incident began with something as trivial as jockeying for position in traffic. 2 cars, 2 drivers, a merge lane, and suddenly, a life is over. Why we watch David Muir. Stories like this are incredibly hard to report, and even harder to watch. Yet, millions tune in to David Muir every night because of the way he handles them. He doesn't sensationalize the pain, he respects it. By pausing the show, giving the floor to the body cam footage, and letting the mother's voice be heard, the broadcast honored Brandon's memory while highlighting a critical societal issue. It reminds us that behind every breaking news banner, there are real people. There is a stepfather screaming for help on a freeway. There is a mother facing an empty bedroom. There is an 11-year-old boy who never made it to class. As the segment ended and Muir moved on, the weight of the story lingered. It's a reminder to hold your loved ones a little closer, to take a deep breath when traffic gets bad, and to remember that a moment of anger is never, ever worth a lifetime of regret. Rest in peace, Brandon Dominguez Chavarria.